and I wanted to give you a quick update. I want to debunk a conspiracy, over the head conspiracy theory about how UK is already 50% infected, according to this HotWire
This is some
conspiracy.com.
pretty vital information that's being reported.
Vital information being reported, Jeffrey
It's really
Jackson.
quick to set it up.
Why you call yourself an investigative journalist when you're literally investigating the most common headlines, the most unevidenced, most radical, and most prevalent mainstream headlines? You're buying into mainstream media. I'll just show you guys.
Here, we spoke about this talking point that emerged out of nowhere: 18 months or longer for restrictions, for self-quarantines until a vaccine's ready.
Restrictions of vaccines ready. That's in America, but not the entire world.
A lot of the media ran with.
Just please, you talk about other media, but you run sensationalist headline. I'm going to prove you soon why it's sensationalist that UK, according to our Oxford study, which you will mention soon, that UK are already 50% infected, according to peer-reviewed Oxford study.
That was traced back apparently to an Imperial College of London report based on assumption.
Trump administration condition planning for coronavirus lasting 18 months or longer. Why are you showing this? Why are you trying to disillude your audience into this? What are you doing?
The report was done by a British epidemiologist named Neil Ferguson.
Neil Ferguson, the guy who apparently, according to you, had to change the data because he made a mistake, apparently.
He's the head of the Department of Infectious Disease Epidemiology in the School of Public Health at the Imperial College there. Well,
Imperial College,
just
of
now
course.
Reporting the Daily Wire
That's
headline
from 16th
reads, epidemiologist behind...
Why you reading Daily Wire? The Daily Wire is the most uninspicuous, most conspiratorial and unfounded claims. Daily Wire is as bad as Daily Mail. Why are you using sensationalist sources, Jeffrey Jackson? Where's your other sources? You reckless fuck.
In highly cited coronavirus model admits he was wrong. Drastically revises model.
Oh, apparently he says he was wrong. He drastically he revises the model from 500,000 cases of people who might die to 20,000 who die.
Inform government policy decisions in the U.S. and the U.K. So Ferguson basically just gave us evidence in the U.K.'s Parliamentary Select Committee on Science and Technology as part of the nation's coronavirus response. So going back to the Daily Wire report, Ferguson's model...
Daily Wire is, I tell you, Daily Wire likes to ferment and talk the same mainstream bullshit talking point that's the Sun likes to peddle. The Sun and Metro likes to peddle. Then the Guardian Guardian is somewhat more reliable. The New York Post didn't even post this Oxford study. So what are you telling me? Are you telling me that we should trust fake news sites like Daily Wire?
2.2 million dead in the United States and 500,000 in the United Kingdom if no action was taken. The Daily Wire writes, after just one day of ordered lockdowns in the UK, Ferguson has changed his tune. Now the epidemiologist predicts hospitals will be just fine taking on COVID-19 patients.
How is it just fine? How is it just fine? You're not even in the country.
And estimates 200,000.
This investigative journalist is not even in the UK, so how he is sure?
Or far fewer people will die from the virus itself or from its agitation or other ailments. So we have 500,000 goes to 20,000.
This guy can't even pronounce 20,000. Wow. And you call yourself an investigative journalist. Epic fail.
The article continues. It talks about an author and former New York Times reporter, Alex.
Can you talk smoothly? No one's pressuring to speak. First of all, get wireless HighWire. Seriously, your investigative journalist is as bad as one of those Daily Mail journalists, or whatever. Your journalist is as bad as Dean Takahashi.
He says, quote, "This is a remarkable turn from Neil Ferguson, who led the Imperial College authors, who warned of 500,000 UK deaths, and who has now himself tested positive for COVID," stated Bernison. He now says both that the UK should have enough ICU beds and that the coronavirus will probably kill under 20,000 people in the UK, more than half of whom would have died by the end of the year in any case because they were so old and sick. This is his words. Now, what's interesting
is that this you're peddling one source. An investigative journalist should be looking at two sources and coming to a conclusion. All you have done is just regurgitate an unfounded source, which I will prove you to in a moment.
Here, the Daily Wire writes that just days before Ferguson's about-face, Oxford epidemiologist Sunitra Gupta criticized him, saying, quote,
"Oh yes, I want to talk about Sunitra Gupta. She headed the Oxford study, which I'm going to show you right now, which you can see on the screen, and
is that there has been such unqualified acceptance."
Yeah, she says Neil Ferguson is unqualified with his statement and have unqualified religious acceptance of his work. How would you know? Seriously, he did estimate it wasn't entirely founded. And plus, stop showing Daily Wire. That's the most that's the most right-wing news site ever. Even like the right-wing news site, which is uncredible. It's like Red Eyes TV. Daily Wire is as bad as Red Eyes TV and Dean Takahashi combined.
Now, Gupta herself has a model that...
Yeah, she peddles her own fake model, which I'm going to show you right now. Go away, TikTok. I'm not sponsored. Okay, so here we go. Please don't believe anything the headline says about UK has had coronavirus for 50 million of people by Matt Reynolds. So, according to the headlines, like he explains in this article, the Sun and the Daily Express and Standard Mail, Daily Mail, they all peddle this, echoing the hopeful news that half of us already had coronavirus. Herd immunity is just around the corner, which for some weird reason, Jeffrey Jackson is actually like this.
Suggesting that the COVID virus, was circulating in...
He's peddling something he's against. He's peddling what the HighWire team is against, which is a hoax. Herd immunity. Herd immunity is a hoax. If I remember, HighWire always said the herd immunity was a hoax. But now the peddling, literally a person who is pro herd immunity and the mainstream scientist, this lady called Gupta, Professor Gupta, who put out her own model with unsubstantiated statistics like data, and somehow even apparently they think he's more credible than Neil Ferguson. Apparently, I think both, in my opinion, are equally unqualifiable. Both are for estimates. They're not actual statistics. Because actual statistics, like John Ashton already said, are not being received. Real infection rates and death rates are hidden by the Tory party. I can show you soon.
The UK by mid-January.
Says by mid-January. So mid-January we all somehow magically got infected with COVID-19. Why wasn't ambulances and Loswick Park people reporting this? Why is there a massive lag for 2 months of the reporting of coronavirus? It doesn't add up. Just take a look at this. These headlines are way off the mark. The Oxford study, which has not been published in a scientific journal, get this, no scientific journal or scrutinized by any other scientists like John Ashton or Dr. John Campbell. So yeah, the headline statistic that more than half of the UK population have already been infected with coronavirus is not supported by real-world data, epidemiologists argue. It's a little concerning that they've taken it straight to the media, straight to the fake-ass media, says Tim Coburn. an epidemiologist at University College London's Institute for Global Health. It has not been properly sense-checked against any data. Yes, it hasn't been sense-checked, so why are you investigative journalist, you fucking cock, Jeffrey Jackson, trying to peddle this whole idea that, herd immunity is around the corner, or this is a massive hoax? You stupid little asshole, do you not understand the consequence of you doing this? It disapproves your friend Debunked that herd immunity is a hoax.
Weeks before the first reported case and a month before the first reported death, she's sick enough to need hospitalization, leaving the vast majority with mild cases or free of symptoms.
Mild cases, you just literally not. You're regurgitating the entire article, Daily Wire. Can you just... It's not even peer-reviewed, for God's sake. The Oxford study released in 24th March wasn't even peer-reviewed 4 days ago. Look at this. The study led by Suletra Gupta, Juicy Lourenco, which he did not mention, by the way. It wasn't just... Jeffrey Jackson, if you're listening to this, it wasn't just her who led the study, it was another Juicy Lourenco guy. So, I don't understand. And plus, they have no credibility because they're at the Department of Zoology, the study of animal and spreads. They're not even human... They're not human pathologists, for God's sake. They're like veterinarians. Oh, fuck, I butchered that. The vets, basically, put forward several hypothetical. It's hypothetical, you see, hypothetical scenarios. Okay, first of all, let's us listen, see if he says it's hypothetical study.
So in other words, Ferguson's highly influential initial model was...
Why you try to attack? Why you going on the attack with Professor Gupta?
By orders of...
everyone and everyone.
Yeah, okay, so apparently Debunked here, you can watch the whole video, but he wants to say that people should be mad, everyone should be rushing out, saying, taking back our freedom, saying that this is already over, the quarantine is over. The dumbest, first of all, Debunked, this is the dumbest suggestion for during quarantine. Do you not understand what's the consequence of people all rushing out at once? Literally, you're allowing the British people to be gunned down or possibly get forcefully quarantined by the British police and military if they all rush out right now, tomorrow, or today, or tonight. It's the dumbest idea, first of all. Even people were kind of rushing out yesterday because if you would have known, yesterday night, people were clapping outside the street for NHS, and it happens to be that people got infected. Then how do you explain that?
Where the people are looking, and we're coming to the conclusions that many of the scientists we showed you. I am...
leaving the vast majority with mild cases or free of symptoms. So in other words, Ferguson's highly influential initial model was off by orders of magnitude.
It says orders of magnitude. Says magnitude. Look at your face, you lying little cock. Do you not understand that you have to peer review this? It's not even peer reviewed. I'm not even defending Neil Ferguson here, but you need a second source. You literally had the Daily Mail or anything else to prove your garbage theory that it's all a hoax and that people should just aware of this fear mongering that everyone's already infected and they recovered. Total look at this. Total, both of you. Total to tin for your hatters. Look at this. This modeling rests on an improbable assumption that just 1 in every 1,000 people infected with coronavirus will need to be hospitalized. Yeah, it also said previously, if I rushed in, because 38 days before first confirmed deaths, then 68% of UK population will have been infected by March 19th. 68% according to its own model, which Professor Gupta, she couldn't even do math and literally done it wrong. She is Indian and can't even do math. Seriously, she can't even add up or multiply. Okay, let's continue. 100,000 people infected with coronavirus need to be hospitalized. This assumption just doesn't match real-world data. Look at this. So it's the assumption that 1 in 1,000 people, according to Gupta study, will be infected by the coronavirus that has to be hospitalized in an ICU bed. But that does not make any sense in real world data, because according to Dr. Coben, who already see just in Italy that the figure has already been exceeded by 3 days. He says in Lombardy, despite the region being under lockdown since 9th March, more than 1 in every 1,000 of the entire population has already been hospitalized. More than 1 in 1,000 has already been hospitalized due to coronavirus. According to the most recent data, death rate is currently around 0.42% to 0.42 per 100,000 people. The fact that they didn't look at the data is extremely concerning, given the headlines it's now generating. People are like, oh, no worry, it's just like the flu and we can just go out and ignore quarantine. This theoretic, according to Science Media Center, which is a credible authority on this situation for now, this theoretical simulation rests on a key assumption, which may or not be correct, said James Naismith, director of Rosalind Franklin Institute, in a statement to the SMC. Although the British headlines generated by the Oxford paper may be well wide of the mark, at its heart, the paper, at least in the quote, some positives to this is at least the paper we have now working with will require serological tests, blood tests, which look for the presence of antibodies intricate. So this needs more testing. We can't have. Well, how is that possible? How do the Oxford study knows that already? How many people in UK? It's more than 400 million people. So more than half that, 200 million. So are you saying by now the NHS already done 200 million tests at least to get the results? No, it's impossible. From what we have known, we are short on tests, according to John Ashton. In a press conference the 21st March, Health Secretary Matt Hancock confirmed that UK has ordered 3.5 million of these antibody tests. Work out how many people have already contracted coronavirus. The tests the UK has purchased will soon go through a validation process before being sold to the public. Until then, we just won't know the true proportion of people who have contracted disease without knowing any symptoms. But it's likely a much lower number than the Oxford study assumes. An analysis of the Chinese cases as well data from repatriation flight found that 40 to 50% of infections were not identified as cases. Yes, 40 to 50% in Chinese cases. Data from the Diamond Princess cruise ship found a similar level of asymptomatic case, but without very widespread testing in more general populations. We simply don't know how many people contract coronavirus without showing symptoms. You see, asymptomatic Lyngja virus. But public health experts are concerned about headlines generated by Oxford studies will lure us into a false sense of security. Yes, absolutely. False sense of security. Take a look at this. You, Jeffrey Jackson, has blood on people's hands. People's lives are in your hands because of your stupid investigative journalist method of regurgitating right-wing, unfounded Daily Wire and the Sun media, and including Daily Mail and whatever media you watched.
Or a fraud, or one of the
fraud. This is the biggest fraud. Wow, you Americans are so American.
The medical establishment.
You're raging like Alex Jones now. Del Bigtree, stop raging like a lunatic Alex Jones right now. Silly, you're not Joe Rogan. Jeffrey Jackson, check your sources seriously. Look at this. This Wired.com by Matt Bryant has debunked your assumptions that this whole idea was just peddled by the mainstream media to fearmonger people. Oh, that actually people are dying. More people, 500,000 will be dying. But in actual fact, This is a national catastrophe, not because of fair propaganda, it's because no one have done anything since it arose in China and keep the control except China themselves. That includes Taiwan, by the way, keeping it in control as yeah. So it looks like your Americans will have a wake-up call, massive wake-up call. Yes, appears. Even Dr. John Campbell didn't have the audacity to act like a completely investigative journalist buffoon like you, Jackson. Jackson, I think. You. So yeah, basically check your studies. Oxford studies has never been verified by other scientific sources. You illegal punk. Yeah, seriously, I'm quite frustrated by tinfoil hat conspiracy theorists who make other conspiracy theories looks like utter buffoon. Yeah, so take care, and guys, be highly critical of the HighWire from now on. Unsubscribing them. Yes, that's the best way to confirm that we are skeptics against your authority of believing in Oxford studies, which by a Indian lady who can't even do simple math, or basically complicated statistics she was trained to do. Hello. Yeah, so thank you.